Good evening. It's wonderful to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is indeed. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall talk to the short-sighted and rather angry sewage worker who always gets hold of the wrong end of the stick.
First, the news. The Prime Minister was not at home today when delegations representing the Boy Scouts, the overweight, cigarette smokers and unmarried mothers called at number 10. So they stood in the street and shouted, "Up the Scout, up the Stout, up the Snout and up the Spout."
Following pressure from the Australian Musicians' Union, the Sydney Symphony Orchestra is to get rid of all its British players. So tonight is the last night of the Poms.
The Crown Public House in Aberdeen had its charity pile of pennies stolen today. Police said the thieves will not get far, as both coins are marked.
And at Dublin Bankruptcy Court this morning, Ireland's worst gambler admitted to losing his last £600 on the St Leger. He lost £200 on the race and £400 on the action replay.
We have just heard that Swedish Massage Parlours Limited have merged with the Women's Voluntary Service to provide Fields on Wheels.
Mr Callaghan has announced that next year he intends to set foot on the moon. And Foot has announced he's going to set Callaghan on the moon.
Finally, film news. Raquel Welch has accepted a part in the sequel to Godfather 2. It's called Godfather 3, and she'll be appearing as the two heavies.
But now a sketch starring Mr Ronnie Corbett, who managed to make himself so unpopular at the Typing Pool Christmas party that the girls hung him up and kissed the mistletoe. Fiona is looking magnificent in red tonight.
Yes. Trouble is that damned Carol's with her clings like a limpet.
Yes, I know, but I've got a plan for Carol. I'm going to foist her off onto some unsuspecting idiot. And then I'm going to move in on the lovely Fiona. Yes, there's one there. Magnificent, truly magnificent.
Pardon?
That movement there is exciting, superb, vibrant, primeval.
Pardon?
The way you were pawing the ground like that, like a stag in rut. Absolutely magnificent.
Oh, God.
Bursting with male pride.
That really was. I did.
Yes, I know what that gesture means, you see. That is the first impulse in the age-old courting ritual. Yes, for one heady moment there, Gerard's Cross became the steaming foothills of the Kachenjunga. Oh, yes. I can respect a man who can still express rampant desire, you know, the old Adam, that dark tide of passion's surging ocean, all encapsulated in that one simple gesture.
Actually, I dropped some shrimp puree on the carpet. I started rubbing it into the pattern before anyone noticed, so don't tell anyone.
No, you can't pretend with me. Every gesture a man makes betrays the inner beatings of his caged libido. I mean, that cheese straw that you're holding there, what is that saying?
That is saying, this is a cheese straw, it is saying I actually meant to have a sandwich at tea time, but forgot I hadn't put any oil in the car and thought I came out of, well, it might be a little while before we have a hot fork dish, if indeed we do. And this cheese straw is actually filling the hole.
No. No, every cheese straw points to which way the wind is blowing, you know. Oh, yes, that surging wind of passion that roars through your soul, bringing with it squalls of reckless lust and clearing away the grey mists of conformity.
You're not with the Met Office, are you, man?
The weather I deal in is the weather of man's psyche. I give the long-range forecast for humanity. I'm a psychiatrist.
I see, yes.
Yeah.
I'm more really on the executive side of things, really. Well, to be actually accurate, I'm more on the sub-postmaster side of things.
I'm trained to observe man's inner turmoil. To the rest of the world, you might be just a simple little pathetic sub-postmaster, but to me, you are a caged tiger, a stalking leopard.
Really? You spotted it?
Yes, every gesture you make cries out to me in a loud voice, I want that woman now.
Oh, really? Which woman? Sorry, which...
The woman in the yellow dress over there. For instance, why are you holding your glass like that?
Well, only because otherwise it probably dropped to the ground.
That glass is a woman. It is round, it is glowing, it is vibrant, it is full.
Goodness me. I didn't... Well, to be honest, I hadn't noticed that lady at all.
No, I'd noticed that.
What?
You're afraid of your incipient feelings, aren't you? You're a small man standing on the ocean's edge, afraid to dip his toes. Well, let me tell you, one or two people at this party tonight have been for a swim already.
Well, that's as may be, but I personally have no axe to grind.
That is not what I've heard. I've heard that this is one postmaster who's definitely not sub.
Look, do you mind? All I want to do is stand here, enjoy myself, have a quiet evening. I mean, I've got no idea how sexy that lady is. I have no desires towards her at all. I mean, she's nothing wrong with her, nothing wrong with me, probably. But I mean, you know, that's just the way I...
Yes, of course, I understand. You want to talk about something absolutely tedious and ordinary. Fine.
Yes, that's all right, if you don't mind. Do you mind if I have an olive here?
Not at all.
Now, in my taking of this olive, I hope you don't think this resembles or stands in any way for a woman. My taking a woman. This olive is small, it's round, it's green, it's...
Stuffed.
Pardon? Yes, no, well, it is in a way, yes, although I'm not, and that lady probably isn't, and... anyway, that's about the size of it.
Is it really?
Standing here with no gestures, no waving of hands, no complaints, being perfectly happy. Do you understand?
I know, and people are beginning to notice.
Notice what?
That you're standing here doing nothing about it. I mean, you're standing there with a pathetic little cheese store, that glass with that pathetic drink. I mean, it's animal, you know, it's disgusting. What? It's all fantasy with you. Why don't you go over there and grab that woman in the yellow dress and whisk her out of here? Why don't you? Because you're afraid.
No, I am not. We trivets have no fear. We trivets have fire in our blood.
Then get in there, wee trivet.
I will, don't you worry.
That's the idea.
I will. Don't you realize what I mean? You come with me. Take me.
Oh, God, the man's colorblind as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Manhattan Transfer.
1, 2, 3, 4. She's a snooty little cutie. She's a pert little skirt. She's a knockout and a beauty and a flirt. Such a dapper little flapper. She's just cute as a tree. She's a kissy little missy, a vain little Jane. She's slick, do-do-do-roo-doo. She's a classy little lassie, a keen little queen. And although sometimes she's sassy and mean, just a feed for romance is she. Squirrely little girl is she. She's a knockout of beauty, snooty little beauty, snooty little beauty is she. You're a mellow little fellow, you're a coy little boy.
You're a knockout and a beauty, you're a joy.
You're a ready little steady, you swept this girl off her feet.
You're a kissy little missy, a vain little Jane, but you're sweet.
You're a handy little dandy.
Ooh, you're a keen little queen. And although sometimes she's bossy,
Ooh, I'm never mean.
I'm a fiend for romance with you.
Mellow little fellow, you're mine.
You're a knockout and a beauty.
And a snooty little cutie, snooty little cutie mine. Yes, she's a classy little lassie, a keen little queen, and though sometimes she's sassy, she's never mean. I'm a fool for romance, it's true. Moonlight kisses and you.
That's for me.
She is a beauty, that snooty little cutie, snooty little cutie. She.
Good evening. My name is, Thingamy. Now, I wonder if you suffer from a bad memory, because if you do, I've got some brand new ideas which may help you. Now, I myself suffer from a bad thing, and, Good evening. My name... Yes, my name is the same as it was before, and I'm now going to blow my nose. Now, you may wonder why I've got a brick in my pocket. So do I. Oh, yes, this is known as a mnemonic, an aid to memory. How does it work? Oh, yes, of course, yes. Brick reminds me of Dick. Dick reminds me of Emery. Emery reminds me of memory. That's it. I've got a very bad brick. Oh, yes, good evening. My name is Hammer. My name is Hammer. My name is Hammerstein. My name is Hammerstein. My name is... No, it's not. No, my name is Brick. Arthur Brick. Arthur Brick. That's right. My name is Arthur Brick, and I am employed by the government as their memory man. Now, yes, quite. Now, do you know that we lose over 2 million man-hours a year due to bad memory? Many workers just can't remember what they're supposed to be making. Last year, we made 3 million tons of E-type custard. So what can you do about it? Well, here is the government's latest secret weapon. It's a handkerchief with a knot in it, you see. How does it work? Well, the knot reminds me of the Boy Scouts, which reminds me of the Brownies, which reminds me of Doreen Addleston, which reminds me of Knockers, which reminds me of Knickers, Knickers, Twickers, Twickers, Rugger, Rugger, Cricket, Cricket, Allen, Knot, and that reminds me of the knot in my handkerchief. Which, of course, in turn reminds me of the other knot in my handkerchief. And I haven't the faintest idea what that was. So remember our slogan, tie a knot in it, you know it makes sense. Sometimes I forget a word. Now, one word I always forget, for example, is, I'm sorry, I've forgotten it. So what I do is substitute another word I can remember, like banana, you see. Now, for instance, I went straight into my boss this morning and I said, I've been working here for 20 years, I jolly well want a banana. And he gave me one, and here it is, you see, I've got it in here. And now, I recently painted some classic pictures entirely from memory, and it really works. Now, look, here's one, for instance, you see, there we are. That's the banana of the Glen. Oh, yes, entirely from memory, and here's the famous Mona banana, of course. And this one's rather naughty. It's Goya's famous naked banana. Absolutely peeled. Now, I hope that hint will prove useful, but for those of you with really bad bananas, here's an even more useful aid to memory, rhyming. Now, I once went to see my girlfriend wearing this very large nose, you see. Now, that was to remind me to propose, you see. Now, she said, I don't want to marry a man with an enormous nose, so she married a Mr. Crampton in the finish. He is a man, of course, with an enormous ice cream business. And here is one of his cornets, you see. Now, cornet, you see, now that cornet, hornet, hornet, wasp, wasp, sting, sting, ping, ping, pong. It reminds me to mend the lavatory. It's simple, isn't it? Now, what else have I got in my pocket? Well, sometimes, you see, I don't even know what day it is. Now, there you are, you see, and that helps me. It's Knickerbocker Day. No, it's not. It's Chocolate Sunday. The Chocolate Sunday reminds me chocolate, Easter eggs, Easter Monday. Monday, I stepped in a pancake. Pancake Tuesday, I was in Sheffield. Sheffield Wednesday, lost last Thursday. Thursday, I went to a fancy dress party as man Friday, so it must be Saturday. You see? Simple. Simple aids to a better banana. Now, if you have any queries, please address them to me at this address, Colonel Sir Thingamy Banana, Ping Pong House, Big Nose Road, Thingamy under Knickerbocker, Brickshire. And don't forget to send a stamp address Hedgehog. Good banana.
Hello, dear.
Oh, you got a letter there?
Yes, I've just had the postman.
Oh. I thought you was looking a bit flushed.
Well, with George being away, you see.
Yes. How's he enjoying his week at Clacton, love?
Well, he'll be all right, dear, as long as you don't take too much of that ozone, darn it.
Oh, no. I should think knowing George, he'll stick to his pipe, won't he? So make a cup of tea, love?
Oh, lovely. Just need that, dear, yes. Now, he's saying in the letter here, apparently he was sound asleep in the deck chair, snoring, and this fellow woke him up, dear, and demanded 20p.
Oh, dear. I didn't know they charged you for snoring.
I'm not snoring, dear, for the deck chair.
Oh, I see. Well, that's quite good, you know. There's £6 in the shops. Did George give it him?
I think so, dear, right over the edge of the deck chair. Well, you know how hot-blooded he is.
Yeah. I thought that was only after he'd had his cocoa of an evening. So, what's he on about in his letter, then?
Oh, he's fine.
Oh, well, that's good, isn't it?
No, not good, dear. He's fine, dear. For hitting the fellow over there with the deck chair, dear. Fine. £25, dear. For 7 days.
Oh, I think you'll make him do the 7 days, won't you?
Well, I'm not thinking away 25 quid, dear, am I?
No.
I mean, how long would it take him, do you suppose, to do 7 days?
Oh, well, I should think the way he moves about 3 weeks. Plus, if you're lucky, a fortnight for bad behaviour. Oh, we shouldn't laugh.
Don't really. Think of it, all that time, dear, without his pipe.
Yeah. Do you think you'll manage?
I just have to force myself as long as my lungs will stand it, dear.
Yeah. You know what you want to do? You want to get an old tin can, set light to a bit of rag, stick it in the corner and let it smoulder away, just like he does. You never know the difference.
Oh, it's really cool. How do you spell wrong, dear?
R-O-N-G, love.
Gee, now, that doesn't look right.
No, well, it's wrong, isn't it? It won't look right if it's wrong, will it?
No. Hasn't he got a W in it, Dish?
R-O-N-G-W? No, that'd be daft, wouldn't it? No, I tell you what, put incorrect. You know how to spell that, don't you?
Yes, of course I do, yes. I-N-K-O-R-E-K-T.
That's it, yes.
You know, sorry, dear, I'm afraid that doesn't look all that
Well,
right.
look, read it out to me. I'll see what it sounds like loud-wise.
All right. After all, it was your fault because you was in the incorrect.
Yes, I see what you mean, yes. Well, I'll tell you what, by the time he's puzzled that out, I'll be out on parole anyway, so it won't matter.
I know, he's told me, he said, not to send the £25 fine by post, he said. Come down, a day at Clacton will do you the world of good, he said.
Well, day by the sea would do us both a pair of good, wouldn't it, love?
There's an idea, dear.
What?
Forget the tea. Yeah. Get your hat, dear, otherwise we'll miss the away day special.
Oh, good. Are we going down to see George at Clacton?
No, we're going to blow our 25 quid at Brighton. Oh!
George, the tap's leaking, the telly man's repossessed your electric organ, and the dog's done it again. Welcome home. Me and Lil have gone to Brighton, your loving wife, Ede. P.S. Your dinner's down the chip shop. That's charming, isn't it? Charming. Down the chip shop. Cool.
Have you in?
Hey?
You back, George?
No, still down there, Sid.
Hey?
What you're staring at now is one of those uncanny encounters of the 3rd Division, see? Probably due to the time warp on the A33 between Croydon and the coast.
Hey?
Of course I'll back you, Burke.
Has the week gone already, then?
Yes, time flies, Sidney.
Good thing elephants don't. I've got it.
Have you? Have you been anywhere with it?
No, I thought I'd show it to you first.
I don't want to see it.
Well, I thought you might be interested, didn't I? I've never had a racing pigeon before.
Racing pigeon? You bought a racing pigeon? We don't like birds. You're illogical to feathers, ain't you?
Well, I know that, but this one was going cheap.
Well, birds go cheap.
Now, I mean, a fellow only wanted 25 quid for it, and it's a real champion.
Who sold it you?
Fella down the pub, you know.
Oh, dear. Not that chap who sold you that great big lump of black moon rock.
Yeah, that's him. The Coleman. That's it.
He's done you again, hasn't he? Eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he has. I remember when he sold you that Elizabeth I wristwatch.
Look, George, that was a genuine antique, you know.
In the time of Elizabeth I, they didn't have digital watches, did they?
Well, that's probably why it didn't work. I mean, you couldn't ask for more proof than that, could you?
Yeah, no.
Listen, I'll bring it in then and let you...
Go on, let's have a look at this champion then. Go on.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Come on in. There we are. That's it. Come on in. Come, that's it. Yeah, we're a bit nervous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's highly strung.
Go on in.
That's it. That's it. There we are.
It's a duck.
Hey?
It's a duck.
Where?
Where? In the cage, it's a duck.
He's a racing pigeon.
Oh, it's a duck. Look, it's got web feet, unless you bought it a pair of flippers, have you?
Don't go on. That's those feet of his. That's kind of what's the name streamlining.
What, aerodynamics?
That kind of thing, yeah.
Oh, if it's a duck, he's done you again, the Coleman. He has, yes, he has, yes, he has. I remember that time he sold you that day-old golden Labrador pup. Turned out to be an hamster.
Look, George, that was a genuine mistake on his part,
Oh,
fair.
yeah, well, that's his maybe. That's his maybe. I shouldn't try and join the Pigeon Fanciers Association with that thing, innit?
This is no everyday, ordinary racing pigeon, I tell you.
I know, it's an everyday duck.
It is an Argentinian racing pigeon.
Yeah, Argentinian racing codswallop. Look, it's got a bill instead of a beak, hasn't it?
That's its beak. It was in one of these night races over the Argentinian pampas. And he ran into a mountain. That's what's happened to him.
What do you feed him on, then?
Fish?
It's a duck.
It's an Argentinian... Look, I took it out for a test flight.
Yeah.
It flies just like a pigeon.
Oh, yeah, fast, is it?
Oh, fast. I should say it's not very fast, no. As a matter of fact, he was overtaken by a couple of sparrows, but he's got some stamina.
Oh, yeah.
I was out looking for him for hours, I was.
Were you? Where'd you find him?
Over the duck pond.
It's a duck, isn't it?
It's an Argentinian pig.
Look at the... See, he's waggling the back of himself. Look at that. Look at that. It's just like a teddy boy's haircut, the back there, isn't it?
Don't say things like that in front of him. You'll offend him.
No, I doubt if he cares. See, it'll be like water off an Argentinian racing pigeon's back to him. Has he got a name, has he?
Yeah. Donald.
It's a duck.
It's a race.
Look, let's be fair. Let's face facts, shall we? Look, it's got waterproof feathers, it's got webbed feet, it's got a bill instead of a beak. You feed it on fish and you find it on a duck pond. And it quacks.
It's a duck.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
What am I going to do with it now?
Well, it's only one thing to do with it, isn't there, eh? You've got to take it over the park and you give it his freedom. Tell you what, I'll come with you. I've got to give the greyhound a run.
Oh, yeah?
I'm teaching it to hunt, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Hunt what?
Ducks. Come on, Jet, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Grandad always used to say it was a bloody long way to go for a loaf of bread.
Now, here is a joke which my dear little grey-haired mother used to tell me so many years ago whenever I had trouble getting off to sleep. Now, unlike tonight, when I'm having trouble staying awake. But that obviously will give you some idea of how riveting tonight's joke is. I'll be honest, this story has all the excitement of an overdose of Horlicks. As usual, I'm afraid it's not entirely new. In fact, the history books show that this joke was originally a big favourite at the court of King Henry VIII. When you think of it, times haven't changed much either. In those days, if you told bad jokes, you ended up on the chopping block. Today, you end up in celebrity squares. It's just a matter of time. So you see, I have had a very sheltered life. And my first rude awakening to the seamier side of life came one night, strange enough, when I was round a girl's house playing a game of chess. You know, now she just got one of her pawns all the way to my end of the board, and I rather foolishly asked her if she wanted to make a night of it. We never played. No groans, please. They get worse. We never played a lot of chess after that, or did jokes of that nature either. Anyway, I suppose my strict upbringing was due in part to the fact that I was a very pious, religious sort of community. I remember where we lived, the local Catholic church had to board up the confessional box. Every Sunday evening, we all used to gather outside the church and pray for wicked women. You've guessed, none of them turned up. And I shall never forget the day... You're too good for this show. I shall never forget the day the town's Mormon missionary came round everyone's door. Knocked at the door, he said, "Oi, my life," he said, "my life." sometimes I don't think his heart was in his job. No, I should point out he was actually half Jewish and half Mormon. His parents came from Salt Beef City. My life, he said. I think I'll finish now if you don't. My life, he said, the world is going to end at 6:35 next Tuesday, and everybody took it so seriously. I remember the Catholics rushed off and organised the last-minute mass. The Anglicans arranged emergency communion services, and the local synagogue held a closing down sale. On to the jokes. Or the one joke, which is all about a rather unlucky young man who is called up to join the Navy. Before he goes, his mother said to him, "Clarence," she said. "Clarence?" Well, I told you he was unlucky, didn't I? Clarence, she said, "whatever you do, wherever you go, don't forget to write and let me know how you're getting on." So off Clarence goes to war, and he's a little bit nervous at first, you know, about getting killed and how it affect his health. Well, we all have to be careful, you know. By rights, I shouldn't strictly be here at all tonight. Only last week, I'll be honest, my doctor said, if you do any more of those long stories in that chair, he said, you're very soon going to get run down. I said, rubbish. He said, you are if you come near my car. I'd actually gone along to see him with my nose, you know. Well, I didn't actually see him with my nose, but I didn't take this. No, I actually saw him in my eyes, but I had my nose with me at the time. I was feeling a bit sniffly, so he gave me this jar of incredibly strong vapor rub. I said, will this clear my nose? He said, it'll probably clear the studio. So I didn't bother. However, back to Clarence. Clarence, who's now settled down to naval life. Excuse me laughing, but I've heard it, so it's going. And after he's been away for a few months, his mother receives this letter from him, which reads, "Dear Mummy," he said, "because of censorship regulations, I cannot tell you my whereabouts or where in the world I am. But yesterday we had shore leave, and I shot a polar bear. Love, Clarence," you see. So that's all right. Everything's all right. A few weeks more go by, and she gets another letter. "Dear Mummy," he said, "I cannot tell you which part of the world I am in, but we went ashore again yesterday, and I danced with the hula-hula girl. Your ever-loving son, Clarence." So all's fine, until a couple of weeks later, she gets a third letter, which reads, "Dear Mummy, I still cannot tell you exactly where I am, but the ship's medical officer visited me today and said it would have been better if I danced with a polar bear and shot the hula-hula girl." Winkles, bugs and crabs. I says, Buckles, bugs and crabs. Along the prom we do a bomb and lovely grub is up for grabs with ices. Cockles, winkles, bugs and crabs. Oh, I come from Bella Roma and Romano is my name. Italians get their name from the town from whence they came. So is Malo from Milano, I'm from Rome and I'm Romano. It's a rotten shame that I was born in Florence. When I was a small bambino, there was never bread and meat. We were far too poor to eat, and a wine gum was a treat. But for every small bambino, there was lots and lots of vino. And everyone was dying for a pizza. Oh, the English signorina like Italiano charm. And there's not a miss or mom who can stay completely calm. And they all go raving balmy for a bit of a salami. Down on Brighton Beach with Mario and Romano. Back home in Italy, they like to have a vino. They're always drinking vino, what else is cappuccino? But now we come to England and they only drink the vino. It's not a cappuccino, it's just a cup of tea. I saw a lovely tub. I should say so, he got it round the pub. We're popular along the pier, along the sand. They all get tutti frutti, and my winkles in demand.
Beside the seaside,
oh, I do like to paddle in the sea.
When I step in the water from the prom, all the waves goes flying.
splash around my bomb.
He's a chairman, a little on the wee side. 'Twas when he danced beside me in the sea. Oh, the tide comes up to here, and it nearly floods the pier. He's overwhelming and over me.
An old ice cream seller once offered the choice of strawberry, chalk ice, and vanilla. He got the bad cold which affected his voice. Strawberry, chalk ice, and vanilla. He was husky and hoarse, but he wouldn't give in. And when asked if he'd got laryngitis, he'd grin and reply with a voice like an old rusty tin. No, just strawberry, chalk ice, or vanilla.
I was swimming in a cove on the other side of Hove when a little far too far from land I got. But the day was rather lucky where I got a hello ducky from a sailor with a hailer in a yacht. And he got quite upset when he hauled in his net half a Wellington, a halibut and me. And he cried, "Look at that! He's no bigger than a sprite." And he went and threw me back into the sea.
All the saucy sights you see around the pier, big fat ladies on the spree around the pier, courting couples down the shore. You'll see what the butlers are all around the Brighton pier.
Lots of bathing beauties here
Around the pier,
You should see the things they wear
around the pier,
Some have wraps and some have rings, some have great big water wings, all around the Brighton pier.
bobbing on the briny blue.
Round the pier,
Take a look at Saucy Sue.
round the pier,
For 60 years she served her turn, and now there's barnacles on her stern.
the Brighton pier.
We never seen such a bevy of beauty. It's hard to tell who's the belle of the beach. Let's see Marie, who's a cuddlesome cutie.
And Marguerite, with a passionate reach.
Cara carissima, bella bellissima. Look at the figures they show when they're paddling.
Madeline Sweller, the young Isabella, who isn't a fellow, and neither is Madeline.
You can see Lisa's a bit of a teaser, and Minnie, though skinny, is rather a dear.
Look at Big Betty, who's fond of spaghetti. She's built like a jetty and married a pier.
What a variety, what versatility.
Oh, what a remarkable responsibility.
What a delightful Latin virility.
I got priority.
I got ability. Which, oh, it, show it, show it, oh, it, show it, show it, show it. One is the beat. Which, show it, oh, it, show it, oh, it, show it, show it, show it.
One is for me.
Scusi, scusi, time for us to go. Scusi, scusi, all the ladies know. For a bit of what they fancy on the prom or on the pier, we got ice and welts and wrinkles, and you'll always find us here.
Well, that's just about all we have time for tonight, but there are a few late items of news.
First, sport. We have just heard that the Irish Indoor Athletic Championships have been called off because it's such a nice day.
And good news from the World Masochistic Games. The British team were beaten into first place.
Meanwhile, Ernest Grimble, the unlucky home improver who put in storage heaters just before the price of electricity went up, changed to oil just before the Middle East crisis, and finally installed solar panels, has now, at the end of the first quarter, got a bill from God.
The Salford man accused of stealing a rocket appeared in court today with the rocket hidden up his shirt. He was acquitted by the magistrates, then let off by the police.
Finally, the recently revealed fears of the Minister of Health that the whole medical profession were against him were confirmed last night. He fainted in Whitehall and 3 doctors rushed up and tightened his clothing.
On next week's programme, we'll be introducing the Croydon and District Dyslexic Choral Society. They will be singing Shirley Hassey's Biggest Bits.
And we'll be hearing how leading show business personalities have been insuring parts of their anatomy. If he damages his hands, Liberace will receive £500 a week for life. If he loses his teeth, Ken Dodd will receive £700 a week for life. Rudolf Nureyev will get a lump sum on his endowment. Until
then, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.